Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. This is my 1974 Supercharged MG BGT. Supercharged she is, tuned and running well she is not. So I've got two issues with this car at the moment. One is the tuning. I bought some new jets for that Weber, so I'm going to have a little go at myself and see if I can get it a little bit better. But she's booked in for a rolling road, but that's a few weeks away. Before then though, I want to sort out the cooling on this car because she's running hot. That supercharger is really pumping out some heat. Well, not the supercharger itself, but the compressed air from it. So we're doing a few things to reduce the heat. And today, as you'll see in the thumbnail, we're going to go with the Louvers on the bonnet to try and get rid of some heat. So join me guys as I do some prep to get this bonnet off this car and get it down to get those Louvers punched. But more so, before I do that, I'm going to do a few measurements to see how much benefit they do actually give when they're fitted. Cheers guys, my name's Craig and I'm exhausted. Let's do this, come on. Right, so first things first, I need to make a decision about where I put the louvers and if I want a matching set on both sides of the bonnet or just do it on one side of the bonnet. And I think I've already made that decision. I'm just going to do it on this side of the bonnet above where the supercharger is. I think it'll look pretty cool. And the other benefit to that is you'll know on my car already, I've got a few roundels knocking about. So ultimately with the louvers, they've got to take the paint off to punch it. So that means getting the bonnet repainted. And I might do that in the long term, but in the short term, I can just stick a roundel over the top of that to cover it up, can't I? Obviously, it'll be painted and primed underneath, but in terms of matching the colour, don't have to worry about it, do I? So I think I'm just going to go and put a louver here. Now, I do need to be more accurate in terms of where. I know kind of where the supercharger is, etc, etc. There's some reinforcing panels underneath here as well, but we can think about that a little bit later. But first things first, got a thermometer and I'm just going to pop this under the bonnet, run it, see if it gets to an equilibrium in terms of temperature, and then we'll take that measurement. Then I'm going to cut out the insulation from underneath. So obviously got sound and thermal insulation. Thermal is it? I don't know. Maybe sound insulation under here. So I'm going to take at least a portion of that off because I need to get that off anyway. See if that offers any benefit. And then we can do it all again, can't we? Once the louvers are fitted, to see how much temperature, how much heat dispersion we get. So let's start the car, run it. It's going to take a little while to get up temperature and I'll show you guys how I get along. Puppy Winnie, she's come to help, although I'm not sure she's much of a help or a hindrance. Not sure she knows the difference, but she's come for a treat more than anything, I think. Right, so I've just tied that around my choke cable and I've just left it dangling out here. This is obviously where the air is sucked in to the Weber, so having it here is a good gauge of, well, I'm really interested in terms of the air intake and the temperature that I'm seeing under the bonnet. So we'll leave that there and try not to break it as we close the bonnet on it, which might be interesting. Okay, interesting. Okay. Current temperature 23.7, going up slowly, so currently halfway between cold and normal and just hit 39 degrees, so still climbing. Just hit normal on there and we are at 51.3, 51.4 degrees on there. So that took about 32 minutes to get to 60 degrees. It is now at 61.3 degrees, so it's still slowly going up. We are above normal on temperature here. It's about 21, 22 degrees today, probably about 21 now. So it's a warm day in the UK. Yeah, so a little above normal, but 32 degrees just sat there ticking over. And one of the best things about that is it ticking over for 30 minutes, 32 minutes, and it was just beautiful, absolutely beautiful, running through that supercharger, ticking over. So I'm really made up with how that's been ticking over. I still need to change the jets. It's going to run a bit lean because I noted that last time I went out. I've not had a chance to get back to doing some more work on this. It's going to run a bit lean, so I'm going to not overly go mad with this. What I want to do is go for a little drive and just see if that turbulent air underneath the engine helps with the airflow, because I know when we get the louvers fitted, it's going to obviously help with the airflow when we're moving. So does it do much now when we've not got the louvers fitted? So we'll have a look at that. What temperature? I've stuck the temperature thing to the screen down here, so I'm ducking down so I can see it. 61.7 it's at now, so it is quite warm under there. Oh, here we go. Alright, 20 mile an hour. Roll along at 20 mile an hour and see what difference it makes. Oh, 58 degrees. So 58 degrees it went down to. Water temperature is dropping ever so slightly as we're getting more efficiency into that radiator, which is great. I've still got to fit, not talked about it yet, but I am fitting a charge cooler to this. There'll be a video on that coming soon, so I'm definitely going to do that to try and get the maximum out of this supercharger. So I've cobbled a few bits together, so I'll show you those soon. Water temperature just go down to touching on normal now. I don't think you guys can see it, but it's just on the normal mark now. So it's just going to stall, tick over. No, ticking over. Okay. Oh god, that bogged down there a lot. Yeah, definitely need a bit of tune here. Very lean, so be careful. Drive. 40 mile an hour now, gang. Just going to pull over and have a quick look at air temperature. Air temperature is 42 degrees. 43. Climbing quite quickly. So we dropped down to about 42 degrees then. Okay. Oh, 46 degrees, we just pulled back on the driveway. So climbing now at 47, so we'll keep an eye on that, see where it gets back to, but it's probably going to top out again, isn't it, around 60 degrees, 61 degrees. So I'm not sure you can see me, but I'm not sure you can see these, but these are the two marks that were from the blue tack that was on top of the Weber when we checked the bonnet height, didn't we? So I'm just going to cut down here, so I know that's sitting over the top of the supercharger. Wow, not coming off very well. There's a lot of this still stuck on here, so I need to figure out how to get that off without destroying the paint. Right, I'll close the bonnet, it's on the rise immediately as expected. I wonder how high it'll get. Now there's obviously still quite a lot of insulation on under that bonnet, so yeah, I think it's probably going to be quite similar. Right guys, so that reaches about the same temperature, so that's without the insulation under there. Does it feel any warmer? Not overly, but there's still a fair amount of that insulation still there. I need to get off in some way. Right, it's now 64 degrees. So anyway, so what we need to do now is I want to do some work to try and position where I want to put these louvers in the bonnet. So I've cut myself a roundel. I'm sure I've got some, I can't find them, so I've ordered some more roundels, 550 millimeters. This is a 500 because what I want to do is, I know that the gent that's going to be punching these is going to have to grind away the paint to do it. I don't want him to go outside this. I want to give myself a little bit of margin to make sure that when I do to stick it back down, I've got some nice green paint around the outside, so I don't have to manage the paint outside of that diameter. So we're going to kind of position this here and here, noting that I'm going to get another inch on the edges. So that's probably okay. It's going to come up here close to that, and then out here close to that. That's probably going to sit there. Nothing to put on it, it's going to blow away. Put a bit of tape on this. Right then, I think that the louvers are going to be probably 5 inches wide. So if we just draw that on, that's 4 inches. And do I have them straight down, or do they follow the profile of the bonnet? I don't know. That's 15, that's not enough, is it? So, that's at an angle like that. Or do I? So that's straight down. That's an angle with a bonnet. Do we split the difference? I'll have a chat to the gent tomorrow morning when I see him. He's done hundreds of these, and he's done some MGBs as well. So maybe, don't know. We'll see. Right, need to get this bonnet off now. So how do I? I don't know how to. Yeah. Okay. Well. Okay. There you go. Right. Right. These are 7/16. So let's start doing them. Rotated round like that, which is I think quite fortuitous. So I can it looks pretty cool actually. I can safely undo it here. Nope. Seriously now. Gotcha. Early the next day, yeah, I got that bonnet in the back of the Tesla. I've just stopped to charge, probably about 6:45 in the morning now. Just heading down near Gatwick, so 3-hour drive, so making some progress. So yeah, I'll give you a shout when I get there. Cheers. Right guys, I'm 1 minute away, so approaching final destination. A little bit nervous, I don't know why. The unknown, I guess. That this is supposed to be a whilst you wait service, so it is now, wait, 9 minutes to 9 the time is at the moment, so it will be there in a second or so. So expecting me at 9, so hopefully they'll be there. It's a while you wait service, so we'll see how long this takes. I've no idea. Half an hour, couple of hours, don't know, we'll see. So right, let's try and find this place. Right guys, so now we're in the Cool Louvres workshop. So Brendan's working his magic to get that insulation off the underside of the bonnet. It was a right mess, really difficult to get off, but thankfully he did that for me. Then we've got to get on with getting the sander on it to get the paint off. You can't have the paint in the way when you're punching the louvers, otherwise it will just crack, and cleaning up afterwards will be a nightmare. You can see the markups there in the white that he's done, probably similar to what I did the night before in the black. And then we're taking the paint off the top as well. On the top there was a bit more filler here, so probably about 1/2 mil. So you can see later in my video, it has left a bit of an indent I'll have to sort out later, but that's not a problem. Underneath here, in terms of the paint, the metal works quite nice. The bonnet was new, well, it was new actually about 16, 17 years ago. I had an accident, someone reversed into the front of me, so the bonnet was changed, but that metalwork under there is all in good shape. ready to be punched, which is fantastic. So happy days, but a bit of work left to do on that. Right, here's the press. So we've got the die in there, all nice and clean, and the bonnet's in there now. So we put that in. Brendan's taking his time. He's tapping it into place. He doesn't want to do any more damage to that bonnet. Thank him for taking extra care. He does take it back out. I think we need to take a bit more paint off. Then he puts it back in, and we're doing the final prep now. So final alignment. He's going to get his set square on it just to double check that we're in the right place and we're going to be square. And I think that now we're all set to go and punch the first one. There we go, first one's punched. Really impressed, nice and neat. And then he shimmies the bonnet up in the press, aligns it to the die underneath so it's nice and square, and then you can do the rest of them coming down the bonnet. Fantastic. So what happened there, guys, is you saw Brendan punch this first one, okay, and then after that he asked me if he could be left to get the rest done. He wanted to concentrate and get it right, which I think is a really good thing. And obviously when you're punching metal like that, you want to be safe, so he wanted to do it without me distracting him, so I think that's perfectly fair. So but we did get a good little bit of video there of him punching that one. For the second one, all he does then is uses the proud bit on the other side of this piece of metal to line up his die, so all of these then follow on from each other using that as a guide, so that's how they're nice and square all the way along. So all in all, ended up with 10 of them. So yeah, really good. Come out really well. I can't believe how well it's come out. So neat. Right guys, I'm back home. So 3 and a bit hours later, but what a fantastic morning that was, and it was great to meet Brendan. So yeah, I've just been using some acetone and some degreaser to get rid of the sticky residue from the under seal. So I'm going to paint this, and I'm going to re-put the old insulation back on that little bit. Really made up with these now. So what I'm doing at the moment is just masking up to put a bit of paint on. I do have some green, colour matched green, but it doesn't actually match the car very well. I used this a while ago to try and paint a door, but didn't really work out very well in terms of a match. So quite matching green. That side's done, good enough. I'm going to put that bit back on there, so that'll be fine, but we'll let that dry properly first. Right, let's flip it over. Right guys, this isn't the final finish, so I'm literally going on holiday in 2 days, so I just need to protect it. I think you just see it just there, where we've sanded down the filler primer, so I definitely need to do more work on it, but it'll do. Well, I've just done 3 of those. I've lost one. I need to find it. I'm not sure where it's gone. Right, so I'm not sure if this is going to go straight down or not, so be really careful. Right, definitely needs some adjustment, but it's on. And I mean, don't worry about the paint mismatch. I knew it was going to mismatch anyway. So, but generally, how they look, we stand in the middle of the car, look down the car. Yeah, happy days. So a few weeks time then, when I'm back off my holidays, I'm going to do a bit of sanding, trying to get it leveled out, and then short term fix for this, there's going to be a white roundel stuck over that. so I'll have a matching white spot on the bonnet. So I'm doing it over the louvers, might be a bit tricky, but if I warm it up, probably be okay. We'll see. Right, cool. It's getting late, I'm going to put it away for the night. Well, I was going to say that started easier, but it did, but then it cut out again, so it's difficult to get it to tick over nicely when it's cold. Is that a Weber thing? Supercharger thing? Right, back to where we were, letting this get up to temperature. Took about half an hour last time, so I don't know, I've turned the fan off, so the fan's off at the moment, so I'll keep checking on that to make sure it doesn't overheat, and then we'll see if we get up to temperature. Temperature outside's about the same today, bit slightly more windy than the other day, but it's there or thereabouts, so let's see how hot it gets. It is pretty cool though, being able to see, you guys can't see it probably, but be able to see the Weber and the supercharger through the holes. Nah, you can't see it, but it's pretty cool. I already feel a little bit of heat coming out. We're only at 25 degrees, so let's see how we get on. Right guys, so static test, tick over, barely anything in it, a couple of degrees at the most. It's just kept over 60 degrees. Go on, there's a lot of heat coming up, is it? And the louvers aren't that big, so looking at the moment scientifically, and I can plot the graphs as well, and I might do that. Scientifically, it looks like I'm losing about 0.1, 0.2 of a degree per louver, and I've got 10 of them. So just at a tick over, not a big difference, but it does look cool, I'll give you that. Sat here looking down the bonnet and seeing those louvers does look fantastic. So not really making that much difference at the moment, but looking cool. So we're going to go for a drive again. Remember last time I was at 40 mile an hour. I'm going to go the same route, and I'll turn around the corner, I'll stop in the same place, and I'll look at what temperature it's got down to this time, okay? Just see if there's any difference when we're out and about on the road. There may be more ability of the air to pass through and come out. I don't know, but it's probably going to be exactly the same. And I do wonder if having the gaps in the bonnet will let me hear more of that supercharger whine. Obviously, still not there with the tuning on that Weber yet, so I'm not over pushing it. But let's go for a quick spin and see what we get. But at the moment, not a vast amount of difference, just looking cool. Right, 20 mile an hour. Right, 30 mile an hour through the village. Water temperature is falling, but only ever so slowly, heading towards normal now. So we'll just hang out at the junction. Just check the temperature. .9. So then we'll just run down here at a steady 40 like we did before. I'm pretty sure I can hear some more of that supercharger whine. That can't be a bad thing, can it? So steady 40. Temperature outside is pretty much the same as it was the other day. So it does look cool. Those louvers on the bonnet, they do look cool. Really happy with them. I think I pulled up just over here, so let's do that again this time round. We'll see what we're up to. 43.5 degrees. I can't remember exactly what it was last time. Was it high 40s or low 40s. I don't know, but we can go back and check. I'll put it on the screen. I guess that's not the whole story, is it? Because I'm not really using full charge on this at the moment, so it's going to want to get hotter, although engine was running towards the hot, so is it going to get much hotter than that? Right, and there's still more to do on cooling, charger cooling and other things. So temperature's now heading back up, so let's get back home and see what it gets back up to. But yeah, I can definitely hear more of that supercharger whine. That's not a bad thing, is it? That is pretty cool. Right then guys, so we're done. I think we've just proven scientifically that the number of louvers I've got and what I'm trying to achieve here, they don't have a massive amount of difference. 1 or 2 degrees. It did take a little bit longer to get to 60 degrees, so I think in that terms it may help. And a combination of these along with the other things I'm going to do in terms of charge, cooling, etc, etc, may help further. So we'll see how that pans out. It can't make it worse, can it? But are they having a massive impact and difference? Not, it wouldn't seem so at the moment. I've worked out I've only got 10 of these louvers punched in my bonnet. Maybe if you had more, but the 10 I've got seem to be doing about 0.1, 0.2, maybe 0.3 of a degree each. So there's benefit to be gained, but it does seem limited on their own. But they do look cool. I'm really pleased I've got them. I enjoyed the experience going down south and meeting Brendan at Cool Louvres. That was a good experience seeing his setup. And in terms of the quality of these, how they've been punched through, it is really smart. I mean, I only paid £120 for this small row. I wanted one on the other side as well, matching. I think it would have been closer to 200, which is still a really good price given the quality of the work. I mean, they look great on their own, but the paint around it looks awful. But that's my bag. I've just thrown that on to protect it from going rusty whilst I'm away on holiday for a few weeks. But we'll pick that back up when I get back, so I'm looking forward to getting that smartened up, and I'll either get the bonnet resprayed so they're all smart, or I'll stick that roundel on in the time being. So probably the latter, because I've got so much to do on the other things on the car. Right, but next, yeah, we'll get back onto this, as I said, do a bit more cooling, and I've got some jets to sort out as well, a bit more richer jet, so I'm not running solely under acceleration, so we'll get that sorted before we hit the rolling road. But thanks guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you've not done it yet, please hit like and subscribe button. Really does help me out. Hope you're enjoying your summer. My name's Craig. I'm exhausted, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.